Button, we're live.
Screen. Hi, everybody. We're back again, and it's another edition of Bonga Dada Bonga. Really, really happy that you could join us for a really lively and refreshing
Where is that
what's
noise
going on the
coming
campaign
from?
trail. We've got 30 days.
Where is the noise
We're
coming
just about
from?
three weeks away from the elections, and things are getting hot in the kitchen. We want to talk to the women. We want to know what's going on with them on the campaign trail, how it's featuring. And tonight we're going to be, my co-host tonight is Caroline. I'm going to allow them all to introduce themselves very shortly.
Caroline is out of the studio at the moment.
Caroline was here earlier, so some of you know her already. Is from Toroso, sublocation in Chemonges village. She wants to go become an MCA. We're going to find out a little bit about that when she joins us. She'll be representing Chesikaki ward in Mt Elgon constituency, and she's running on a Ford Kenya ticket. Also joining us, hopefully, is JUSTERIAN IMINZA SALANO. She's from Nakuru County in Naivasha, Hellsgate ward. We've all been to Hellsgate as a tourist destination, but we want to talk to the people who live there and what are their issues. And then we also have HAMISA ZAJA, very well known at the coast, and she's vying to be the rep for Mombasa County. And she's vying on the Green Party ticket, and she'll speak a little bit about her own agenda and what we can expect. They're going to talk about their agendas, but there's an issue that we want to look at tonight, and that issue is security. What are the issues that women face on the campaign trail? It's always an issue every campaign, but it's an issue for women even when they're not on the campaign. So what are the dynamics when they start to campaign? Before we get there, let me ask my co-host to introduce herself. Caroline, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be your co-host for the evening. I come from Kajiado County. I've been on the ballot box twice in 2013 and in 2017. I've always been the only female on the ballot box, and I'm very passionate about the security of women in the political process and political spaces. Thank you, Rose.
Okay. I'll ask our guest, HAMISA, and our viewers, please bear with us. We always have these connectivity issues, so, but we get around it. HAMISA, karibu.
Hi, everyone.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is HAMISA ZAJA. I come from the Kenyan coast, particularly in Mombasa County. I am vying for women representative in Mombasa County with the Green Movement Party of Kenya ticket. The Secretary General of United Green Movement. And I live with a disability. I'm physically challenged. I vied because I wanted that voice to be taken to Parliament. So, because that's the major decision-making table where we can raise our voice and make sure many of the policies that are stagnant can be pushed to implement issues that deal with women and also women with disabilities and also persons living with disabilities.
Thank you. I don't know whether we should already call you Mheshimiwa, but we're hoping that that's the title.
So,
we're just practicing. We're practicing. I am going to ask Caroline to set the ball rolling. Caroline, you can come in and just pose some questions. Let's do it so that we start with the security questions, and then we're going to come and zero in on your agenda.
Thank you, Rose. First of all, HAMISA, I'd like to congratulate you on the bravery of wanting to represent your fellow women in Coast in Parliament. And on the topic tonight is about the security of women in political spaces. So HAMISA, my question for you is, could you share to us how has your security during the political process, from when you decided to vie to date, have you had any political security issue, a security issue that is based on the fact because you're on the ballot box?
Thank you so much. And this is my second time to vie. I vied in 2017. This is being my second time to vie. And the issue of insecurity during, before, and after elections, especially to the women candidates, it's scary. Then the issue of security for women, especially us women with disability, it's more scary. Because there are several things that come up, especially the issue of hiring when you're going to the campaign trail. There are models of campaign trail. For example, there's a model called door-to-door.
Yeah.
Door-to-door, it will mean you are going to reach each and every place that when you are searching for votes. And this could get you somewhere where, especially male candidates, have decided this is a go zone. This is my zone. No one from a different party or no woman from a different party who is vying would reach.
Excuse me, HAMISA.
Yes.
Please put your phone on mute or silence. If you have any radio or electronics in the background, kindly turn them off. We are getting feedback.
Okay.
Thank you. Please
Thank
continue.
you. Zima.
Yeah, I forgot to introduce Queen Mother. That was Queen Mother's voice in the background. I'm sure she'll come out at some point.
Okay. I hope it's clear now.
Yes, it's very clear now.
Okay, so during the campaign trail, that's when you are moving door to door, or you move in places that there are goons, stage managed, or sometimes even in rallies. We have found so many rallies very insecure because they will ever end up with pepper spray. They'll end up with fights. Men will fight. And for example, we are women on the podium, then I have a disability, then people are running, people have already kept their cars into an angle where now they will jump, you can't jump, you cannot run. And sometimes also you get things like being stoned and maybe even being chased away from other places that now this is a place for our candidate. For example, I'm vying for the women representative seat, and you'll find some places they will say no, because there's a sitting MCA or there's a sitting NP in that area who comes from a big party, and in that big party they already have their candidate as a women representative, so it's close to be a no-go zone for you. So whenever you get into that place, you'll be chased, your cars will be stoned, your people surrounding you will be hurt, and they'll be looking for you. And of course, nowadays we have social media handles where now that include phone calls, private phone calls that threats you. Because I have a disability, someone calls you and tells you that I'll break you the other leg. I'll go ahead if I meet you somewhere. I know if I push you, you won't resist, so you'll fall down. Then after falling down, maybe I'll take pictures of you. Your nude picture of your private parts. Then I'll circulate them in the social media. And sometimes, of course, I have a disability, and sometimes I use one shoe just to be comfortable, because the other shoe, the other leg is actually normal. So when you take pictures, you have one shoe, people attack you, you look like a devil, you're not normal. So many things coming up through social media, and social media handles attacks. So there's so many things that we are facing right now.
Yeah, and as you face all these things, let me ask, what kind of support have you got from local administration or from NGOs with regard to your safety and security while you're doing your political journey?
Like I said, as a woman, you have a challenge. Then as a woman with a disability, you have twice challenges as the other woman would face. So many other times that people think for a woman, especially for a woman and a woman with disability to vie, it's like getting their hands into mud water. It's like they are trying to identify themselves. It's not their zone. It's not their place. It's not their field. So many of the times when you go to report, especially into police stations or maybe the nearest mzee wa mtaa, or anyone that maybe is based on security, there'll be this issue. Why did you have to vie? Why did you, you would be seated somewhere, just pray, and because these other things are not yours. Yours is for prayers. You see, there's this culture of if you have a disability, you are like a very holy person. You should look. Even when you go drinking, people would say, "Why do you drink? You already have punishment from God." So now you are putting yourself into other punishments. You see, so politics and persons living with disability, it's like you would wait. You would wait, and you can be nominated. You can be given. There are these special nominations for special seats. You would rather wait for that. So they actually discourage you, and sometimes even they would tell you that you wait until when this person does it again or calls you again, it's when now you will come and report.
Thank you, HAMISA. Thank you for sharing your story from the lens of a woman who is differently challenged. Clearly, the issues that you have to face are multiplied compared to other women. I know there are many women who are vying and they have challenges, but when they listen to their challenges, clearly yours are on a different level. So my question to you are, HAMISA, what measures are you taking, or what precaution are you taking to protect yourself and or as women who are differently challenged in politics? Do you have like a caucus? Do you have like a support group? Do you have a network where you share measures, where you support each other? Could you share with us?
In Mombasa, for example, we are only 2 women who are vying this year. And I'm vying for the women representative seat, and the other one, my friend, is vying for for MCA member of the county assembly at Changamwe ward as an MCA. So there's nothing like a caucus maybe we would do. There's nothing like a caucus maybe we would do, or what everyone, they're fighting for themselves. So what we do, actually what I have done, because I saw this in 2017. So what I've done as an individual is I make sure my meetings are in the daytime, and I make sure that whenever I'm visiting a place, I'd allow those people to put security. Those young men and women who security-wise will be taking good care of us will be there. They'll put measures for me, and I'll go there. I'll do whatever I would want to do. I'll address people, then I'll move out of that place. And in case these people would want to put that security for us, and be paid, I would make sure I have done prior, so that they don't disturb me when I want to go out, so they would not block my car or do anything. So I do payment prior for security for young boys of the area, and I would also make sure that the committees that are inviting people know how I am. So they put measures to make sure that I be as comfortable as possible and leave that place immediately. I have addressed the people.
Thank you so much, HAMISA. It's interesting to know that.
Another thing is people know that I have also been awarded internationally in Washington in 2014, September, as a peace champion. I kept peace somewhere here in Coast Region during the 2012 and 2013 elections, and I was awarded an international Women and Leadership Peace and Security Award in Washington. So they know that I do peaceful elections, and I encourage peace. Even as much as you've been given money, you have been hired as goons, and these people are not giving you jobs, are not giving you options in your life. But Mama is for peace, comes here, and many of the young people, I have touched their lives through giving them individual businesses, some jobs to take good care of themselves. So many of them would offer themselves to give me security because one, I'm a peace champion. Two, they would give me security because I'm that mama who gives people jobs and options in life.
Thank you so much, HAMISA, for sharing the measures and mitigation. Clearly, I see you have covered many fronts. It's interesting how you're in Mombasa and you paid for your own security. And also myself in Kajiado, that's what I had to do. I also had to pay for my own security. And congratulations on your awards on peace security in 2014. Because you know, I've always been interested to find out who sits on the peace, who are the women who sit on the peace and security table of this nation. So I'm handing over to the main host, Rose.
Yeah, I'm loving the conversation about peace, because I think for women it's such an important conversation with every election, and we hold our breaths on that one. What can we do? What can be done really just to strengthen this process, to make sure that women are not asked the questions that you are asked or threatened? So, sorry, yes, I think my link went down briefly. Yeah, we want to be sure that the peace prevails, that the environment for elections is not that which we have known, and it does not scare off women. What would you say we need to do? What measures need to be taken at national level, by local administrators, by parties? all these institutions, and even IEBC and the media. HAMISA, did you hear me?
Yeah. I didn't know the question is mine.
It's yours.
Anyway, the best measures that that would have been put, one, IBC ever know that, for example, IBC was still here when the first rally was held this year in Mombasa, and a young man had to die because he had to be beaten by fellow young men, and he had to die. So IBC was here. IBC would have put measures that in any rally, if in that rally someone dies, those people who have the tickets should be denied those tickets. Immediately, those tickets should be banned. And they should stop vying immediately. That would give a lot of people fear to hire goons, because that day, both the candidates, they were gubernatorial candidates, they had hired goons, and goons were there, and these goons started beating each other in front of a presidential candidate, in front of the sitting governor, in front of those governors who are vying this time around, and all other sitting MPs, they were all there. So in front of everyone, and someone had to die. So some people had to be put into book and be denied tickets, so that next time this would not happen. One. Two, we usually, I belong to Peace Network, and that is from long time ago, when we had Provincial Peace Committee as a thing for the coast region, and then we went ahead and did the districts, which are now county, and then we went ahead and had locational. Now we have even at ward level and at Nyumba Kumi peace committees. So the structure, especially the top structure, belongs to the regional. It goes with the regional commissioner, county commissioners. So what we need to do is to strengthen the peace committees, because we forget about them until when things have gone haywire. It's when now we come in, we look for peace actors, we look for peace builders, we call them, they call peace barazas, but these people should be strengthened and should be put in the structure of the security system, so that it is a continuous process to preach peace. It's a continuous process to talk to young people. It is a continuous process. When it comes to elections like this, people should know that when you suffer, when you have a bullet, when you die in rallies, no member of parliament, no women representative, no politician will come to your rescue. In fact, that young man, it is so sorry that none of the politicians went ahead and visited that house and even gave them some money, even to transport the body of this young person. So people go ahead like they are too high, they are on top, they are above the law, and it continues like that. So if we put these structures and strengthen the location peace committees, we will be able to be doing peace activities continuously. We only come for peace during elections, and sometimes even when you are vying, you are a woman, you do not know where to report. Because when you go to the police station, it will be taken like you see, these things, it's normal in the political arena that people do propaganda, people do Photoshop, people do, you see, it's like it has been normalized that you can be abused, you can be attacked, And it's normal. It's like, it's during campaigns. You go to the police station and someone tells you it's because it's during campaigns. It's normal. It is siasa. Siasa yetu, unajua siasa yetu ni chafu. So we should sanitize. We should even sanitize also. Political parties should be responsible for whatever is happening, because some parties are doing hooliganism and they cannot be stopped. And they are known that if a political rally is held somewhere, somehow, somewhat, people will be robbed. People will be like nowadays, immediately there's a rally somewhere, people close shops in Mombasa. They close their businesses because they know they'll be robbed. Those people who are just walking in the streets, they'll be robbed. Their things, phones will go. Many things will be done during that rally or road show. So these things, people should be brought to book so that a law is made and is enforced too.
HAMISA, you know, some of the things you're talking about.
We have a slight freeze on. Stay right there.
HAMISA.
If we have normalized violence, how do we get over this? Because it sounds more like a cultural, a behavior change. It requires real political will. And yet the people who should advance that political will are the actors that you're talking about, you know? It is sanctioned by the people that you're talking about.
Yeah, thank you, HAMISA, for sharing about how the police, the security administration that needs to enforce security actually is very reluctant and passive during the election season. We have, when we look at the laws we have regarding peace and safety and security, there are frameworks, there are laws, there is enough policy regarding peace and security, especially even for women. My question is, as a leader, HAMISA, if you were given this position of woman rep, what would be your role in ensuring that there is implementation of the peace and security laws, especially protecting women and girls during political seasons, during election season? What do you think is missing? What are the gaps? Why are the police reluctant? I know, to my knowledge, I do know that there are challenges in terms of resourcing, for instance, the training of these policemen and women, the local law enforcement officers, to understand that actually during election season, security needs to be taken a notch higher. In this country, we have seen that during an election season, that's when we have the most lawlessness in this country. Yeah. A lot of laws are broken, and it should be the opposite. During an election season, we must understand that that's when the law needs to be taken a notch higher. So as an incoming member of parliament, what would you implement to ensure that this peace and security, as it is written in policy, is implemented on the ground?
And if I can add before you answer, because I think it is not limited only to the police per se. It's the whole law enforcement structure. It's the provincial administration, the chiefs. There's so many structures that actually perpetuate that violence and that culture, and they're actually involved in some ways. So as you answer it, just look at it a little bit more broadly than just the police law enforcement aspect.
One, just like you said, that institutions also, like the IBC, because we have even mentioned here. Then now we go to issues of police. All these need, and they have acts they have laws that are governing. But it's like there are some people in the country that they are above that law. They can do anything, they can manipulate anything, and they will be left just like that. Because sometimes you ask yourself, why is someone killed during elections and someone is not brought to book? But if you even steal a chicken during elections, you will be sent to Chimolatewa.
Yes. Yes.
It
You'll be
means
sent to prison.
some other people, yes, some other people in the country, they manipulate the law, and even they go ahead and they make the independent bodies not independently. Like they're toothless. They cannot do anything. So what happens is these people should also be below the law like any other person. So they should be policies that are for implementation of some of the neglected laws that have only been made and be put in the shelves. And I just read when someone wants to be defended, but those laws are not implemented when someone has been affected. So one thing is to mobilize in the county assembly, and I'm one of those people who can really convince. I can really convince, and I can really influence. With that one, I'm sure I'll use it 100%. Convince and influence the parliamentaries over these implementations of these laws that are taken slightly. And if, for example, at one case, we will bring someone to book and the law will act on them, the rest of the people would have seen a movie that they have never seen. So we will learn from those people. It's only that people are taken to court, they are released the next day, they are told to pay bonds, and they have that money, and they move around. And they move around like nothing happened. But someone has lost a life, someone has lost a leg, someone has been burned. For example, I'll tell you a small story of a person living with disability who was deaf and dumb during the elections 2012, 2013. Someone left work. No, someone, an employer came to the company and said, now there is a violence within the Sabasaba area, and I'm releasing you to go home. A deaf person has been released, came to Sabasaba, saw a lot of violence, looked at a place, hide himself for some time until the police came and took over, and it was calm. Then he decided to come out. When coming out, those shops which were burned, those shops which were stolen things, those shopkeepers started shouting, he's one of them. And because he could not explain, no one knew sign language, he was put a tire, it was run petrol, and he was put on fire. A few hours later, we met him at Post General. He was 97 burns. He explained to us, it was like that, like the last words, explained to us what happened, and then he passed away. No politician came and told us how we are going to transport his body, and it was during violence, and none of other people could come and support us. This person came all the way from Kisii, was living here because of the job. So because we are in the same network as the chair of Coast Association for Persons Living with Disability, I was called there as a chair. And several other people die just because they have a disability. When there was tribal clashes in Tana River in 2012, a woman who is blind was burnt with her kids surrounding because he was trying to look for a door. He couldn't. Then the kids, because fire was on her, they went and get hold of their mom. So they died, all of them, 9 kids with their mother.
But
who touched the house? No one knows. Who did that? No one knows. No one can be brought to book. Some of them were running away with crutches, with wheelchairs, and some of them, they were crawling even, running for their lives, and they were shot. When the media was saying it's 10 people who died, 6, 7 of them were persons living with disability. And even the media is not highlighting that these people were persons living with disability. Maybe it would have changed the perspective. And that's why I got the Peace and Security Award, because I went there and told them, you are killing us.
Yeah.
It's not any other person. You are killing us. You are reducing our community.
But what do we do?
And we didn't want to be this. So
what
the only thing is to make sure that we have laws that can be enforced. Can be enforced and be implemented fully.
But it sounds like we have another problem also.
Pardon?
It sounds like we have 2 problems. One is the violence, and one of the lack of awareness of the special circumstances of people with disability. So there's no sensitivity, there's no consciousness, there's no reference also when they engage with people with disability. So or am I being too generous maybe when I am explaining this? Because I think one is an awareness of that we need to be conscious of special needs or special circumstances, and the other is just the general violence that that permeates this election period.
I think the only problem we have is in governance.
Okay.
In governance, because if we have properly well-trained, as per the Constitution, for example, because we even need to have articles that are in the Constitution being implemented. For example, sign language is part of the 4 languages that have been allowed in the Constitution. But a doctor doesn't have sign language as a requirement to be hired, and is going to meet a deaf and dumb. A policeman, for example, when they go to training, they do not sign. They don't have sign language as an added advantage. It's not put there. And if we have it as in the Constitution, it should be there to be implemented in every public office.
That's
public
true.
institutions, for example. So I think our only problem is governance.
It all goes back to governance.
Don't care. Because like right now, everyone, what they care is how they are going to get back to the office. That's what they care. So whether they'll kill someone, whether they will disabilize someone, whether someone will lose their house or what, it's like a do or die.
Yeah.
When they're campaigning, it's a do or die, because like they do not have any other job apart from going to the parliament and getting free money.
You call
I
it
think
free
that,
money.
I call it free money because they will go and keep quiet from swearing in until when they say bye to the next parliament.
So anyway, you're promising
That
us
is free.
you're promising us you will not be that person. So let's move on and just ask about a little bit about how women can participate in ensuring that we expand the security of our nation at all times. What can we do just to expand women's participation in peace processes, raise women's voice, to ensure that they're heard, like the issues that you're raising here? How do we get them onto the agenda, the national agenda?
We have something called KENAP. I don't know whether you know KENAP. Kenya National Action Plan that was launched. It is all about peace, the 1325 KNAP. And this is all about peace, and it is about putting women into peace processes. Like, for example, right now here, when we are vying,
Yes.
All the presidential candidates are men. When violence have escalated everywhere, only these men are going to sit in the table and decide for us. After even killing us, they are going to sit there. You won't find a woman. When Kofi Annan came in 2007 and 2008, it was Kofi Annan, it was Mukapa, it was still men coming. The same men who initiated violence, they're the same men who would sit and handshake and tell us it is over. Women should be in peace processes to make sure that they are a voice in every place, from the locational peace committees to implement KNAP, the Kenya National Action Plan, from the bottom, that women in every peace committee, if there are 12, then women should be 9. Women should be many in peace processes until the top. So when they have already caused violences, there are women who will sit with them in that table and tell them, including their wives.
How do you know? The thing is, I mean, I agree with you. I think we agree with you in terms of conceptually, it's very, very attractive. But the reality of Kenya, if you go down to the ground, is that even just to sit at the same table with the men, women are excluded. We're supposed to have village committees, village councils, according to the constitution. They don't exist. Nobody wants them. We're supposed to have public participation. We don't. It's very cosmetic. How do we move from rhetoric to reality? How do we get this thing, people to understand the importance of this inclusion in every committee, so that peace committees are also structured in the similar way? Because they will wait for the war to break out, and then they will organize women's groups and tell us, bring things back to
that is where I come in again and say bad governance, because our governance has not even accepted women. We have not been accepted into any platform. We have not been accepted. It's like we saw the war, what transpired in 5 years about the two-third gender. Something that is already a law. And people just decide, no, this won't happen. So as women, just like at some point we sat down in South Africa as Kenyan women and thought that if we want to achieve the two-third gender, we need to get out and look for elective seats, as many of us as possible, just like you have seen now in 2022. We are very many women that have come out. Though it's very challenging. We do not have resources. We are scattered. We are fighting for our lives, but we have come out. At least we have begun not having that fear, the fear that is created every now and then. Then get into governance, whether we want it or not. It's not even in political arena only. We should get even into parastatals, take positions everywhere. And this will allow us to have that voice that now can start counting us in that major decision table, as for peace, as for politics, as for everything. Because now the governance we have, it's all bad. You can see even right now, 4 men are vying for presidential, they are presidential candidates, 4 men. And you see, almost 2 million right now are for Wajakoya. Because the others have been seen, have been promising, have been there before we were born, and they have been seen. So people are looking for alternatives. So as women, we should also look for alternatives and make sure we sleep and get ourselves into those tables where people are discussing and stand up and put senses, because it could look very sweet, but it's very sour. It's bitter. Someone would call me and even tell me, sasa wewe HAMISA, wewe wajua sisi tutakupatia nafasi maalum, wacha kutusumbua, tutakupatia nafasi maalum. The same person, after seeing me consistently going around, mobilizing and influence people, would call again and say, can you be my deputy governor?
Yes.
See? So we should keep on moving. We should encourage each other and make sure that we are there to discuss, because the governance we have.
Yes.
And in the first 5 years, we have seen governors being taken to court and move out. We have seen murder cases of young girls, and they are out and moving. They are out and about. We have seen all sorts against women, all sorts of violences against women. But these people are all out. No one has been taken to prison because of assaults. Because being a politician, you used something, you used this, and this one was killed. No one.
Yeah, it's true.
So they keep on doing the same things to us. They keep.
Yeah.
And they will keep. And now they have already come with the money. They know women don't have money. They have tried to manipulate everything. And they're going in for some of them for the 3rd time, some of them, and some of these male politicians were chairman of hooliganism groups many years when we were kids. And now is a member of parliament.
I think we're beginning to wrap up. I don't know if Caroline is there. We want to give you at least a few minutes to tell us what your agenda is. We want to give you a few minutes to wrap up this conversation. I'm going to hand over to Caroline to handle the last part of this conversation. We have about 7-8 minutes. We can take a few just to hear specifically what from you. Caroline?
Hi. I think for me, my final comment to HAMISA is thank you so much for being so candid and sincere. And truly, you have educated a lot of Kenyan women and men who are listening online about the needs, especially of women who are challenged with persons with disability. You know, even as you say you are challenged, but actually because of your challenge, it has made you be a voice globally, regionally. You're a voice to the community, to your people. So it has caused you to, it is like remove the greater HAMISA within, and truly we applaud you for all your efforts. Clearly you're very knowledgeable in the area. And my final comment to you would be, what makes you the best candidate for women representative in your area? Like, I think not just what we normally hear, but what is the X factor, or as the French say, what is the je ne sais quoi about HAMISA that will make you stand out, that people know this is the right woman who will represent us very equally and ably in the parliament?
Thank you so much, Rosa and Caro. I would say I'm bringing to the people of Mombasa a uniquely package. Just like you said, we have the attitude towards women, and this has made the women representative seat be given. It's a county seat, but the budget is too tiny for the population that they are vying in. So because of that, I have brought to the people of Mombasa a uniquely package that I'm working on until now, and it has been proven and tested to be the best that can work with the women representative seat, and that is PPP, public-private partnership. I have the networks that even gave my name here to be here. I have all the networks within the country and outside the country. I want to use public-private partnership to bring things, projects in the health sector, to bring projects in the access to justice sector, to bring projects in the education sector, to bring project into the empowerment sector of women, persons living with disability, and even men and our youth. And same into the environment and water and sanitation. Public-private partnership, I have worked. The governors of Mombasa, they would tell you, I have ever visited them, get investors, get donors, get funders, sponsor things, and I would want to work towards this component of public-private partnership to make sure if the budget does not fit us, the rest should fit us in public-private partnership so that we can fix our problems, because our problems are uniquely made like HAMISA ZAJA.
Thank you for sharing about your PPP. You know, when you use such, it sticks to our mind about the public-private partnership. We will, 1 year from now, we will call HAMISA and find out how far have you progressed on this public-private partnership. Yes. Bonga Dada will hold you accountable. Yeah, yes. Remember, for me, what has stuck in my mind is what you earlier said, that you have no caucus and no support. And I was thinking maybe, I'm just throwing this as a challenge to you, or something you can think about women who are in the political space and are differently challenged. You could start a caucus, and then later on that caucus could turn around to be a voice to reckon with. It doesn't have to be just women in Mombasa. It could be women from all over Kenya, where you support each other. But these women, make sure that, you know, they're women who are credible, reliable, who will speak up for the other women. And you can be like a safe space, because the political space is not safe. So you can create a safe space where you can champion each other, encourage each other, share opportunities. And yeah, we are happy to support you in any way whatsoever. Thank you, HAMISA. I'm really encouraged by you tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Likewise, I think I'm also very encouraged. I'm not a political actor. My space is the media, but I'm also learning a lot, and I think it's very, very courageous what the steps that you take. That you step into this very volatile, very violent, very unpredictable space that actually is not welcoming at all for women, and that you dare to do and to dare to dream for the rest of women of Kenya. I've learned that we need great enforcement, greater effort in enforcement. I've learned that we need different policies. I've learned that we need perhaps to have like a value system that is actually outlined in do's and don'ts on what should happen. And the lack of almost lack of interest in safety and security as a culture that needs to be addressed much more from a behavioral point of view. Some of the things that you have spoken about today, like when you were talking about the party politics and how they're telling you to get out and we'll nominate you or we will reward you or assign you. We want to take up some of those issues next week. So I hope those who are listening will tune in again next week and listen as we talk about women and party politics. A really, really, from what we hear, can be a dirty game. And we want to hear from women themselves how it plays out. I just want to thank you very, very, very much, finally, for being here with us, taking time out. We know that this is the crunch time of election and campaigning, so we know it's a sacrifice you've made. But thank you for also seeing this as valuable. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, HAMISA. May God go ahead of you. I wish you every success. You deserve it.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you, Queen Mother. Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, don't forget to join us next week again on Thursday, same time, same place, where we will have some other powerful, influential women speaking to us from the campaign trail. I want to take a special moment and just ask Queen Mother to show herself. She's the one who's giving us this platform, although she's left it to us as Kenyans. Thank you, Queen Mother, wherever you are. We don't see you.
Get back in there to be with you. Oh, I wasn't trying to do that. But let me say, it is a beautiful day. It's a very beautiful day. I found this week, this morning, and especially this week, to be more cold than I'm used to Kenya being. So I know the Kenyans always say it's cold, and the Americans always laugh because we say you don't really know real cold. But I will say to you, this week it's been kind of cold. So I guess the thing about climate change is really happening. And in terms of climate change, there is going to be a climate change in this country because these are the women who are going to make it happen.
Absolutely.
I invite each of you to make sure that you get out on your day to vote in your region, in your area, and place your vote. Place your vote. Because if not you, who?
Then who?
And if not now, when? And I'm here to tell you that the time is now. So I'm very grateful for the Honorable HAMISA. Thank you for making time to be with us. I thank our host. I thank our co-host. And on next week, we're going to have a panel discussion. And the topic, once again, will be what, my host?
Women and party politics. The
Women
lowdown.
and party politics. Very interesting. I'm going to ask you to tune in for that. We thank you. We appreciate you every Thursday, every week, live at 7 p.m. Tune in for Bonga Dada Bonga. Bonga Dada Bonga. Bonga Dada Bonga Dada Bonga Dada Bonga. Bonga Dada Bonga. Somebody needs to make it into a song. Come on, ladies. Let's say, let's tune in to Bonga Dada
Bonga
Bonga.
Dada Bonga.
Bonga Dada
Asante. Thank
Bonga.
you.
Thank you again.
HAMISA, you're already being called Mheshimiwa,
Yes,
so thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Have a good week. It is a beautiful day.